stopped in order for us to gather so that we can talk about this very important issue that affects every single Canadian around from coast to coast to coast. And that is Bill C-51 and what it's going to erode to our rights. This bill is going to be plowed through government if we don't stop it, and we don't stop it soon. It's very, very important that we all contact our MPs immediately and do it repeatedly and tell our neighbors to do the same thing. We and the senators, yes, thank you. We all know why we're here. We want to protect our privacy and freedom of information. We don't want police to be able to spy on us when we are peaceful, when we are doing things that are not against the law. We want to make sure that we have civil liberties in this country that are respected, and we want to make sure that the Harper government does not plow this through before we plow them out. Right? So today, I really want to make sure that you inform your neighbors. Tell everybody you know about this bill. This is critical. This is a critical time for us to make sure that this information gets out so that everybody lets people know. Let your MPs know, let the Senate know, and make sure that this bill does not go through. This is a national day of action. People are marching across the country from coast to coast to coast, and London should be proud that we're part of this action. Yeah. I'm going to turn this mic over now to Oasis, I believe.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
No.
Should I use this? I just hate megaphones. They're so awkward, but I will bear with it.
Bonjour, tagiye no na Oasis petition cause wa bejeshin to do dem o de pemzu minon nishnabe kwenta wa wa tinotino knedonjula. My name is Oasis and I'm OG3 Métis. That's what I said. And I'm Pine Martin clan, so our traditional responsibilities we're the warrior clan. So our responsibilities are to uphold the peace for our people. So I very much see that as my role in this movement and a lot of other movements that I take part in. So I'm here today because I'm worried about the expanding powers of CSIS, how they're essentially becoming the secret police, and how that threatens frontline activists in communities that have already been marginalized to a further extent than they're already experiencing. And I want to kind of push back that the narrative around, CSIS here seems to be that they're involved in security and intelligence. And they're involved in neither. When I think about security, I think about the security of our health. I think about the security of the health of the land and how we're connected to the land and depend on the health of the land for our own health. And I think about the security of our waters. Everything from the puddles we see around here to rivers, lakes, rushing waterfalls to the oceans, and how we depend on the health of all those waters as well. And I think about the heart knowledge, how that is so often silenced in today's society, and how I want to work from a place that acknowledges that heart knowledge and does work that is important to my heart to defend human rights, to protect the land. These are all really important things that I was really grateful when you pointed out we should be talking to each other about. Everyone should go and tell 5, 10, 15 people when they leave here today why they felt it was important for them to be here, and maybe ideas that you shared with people here and why they resonated with you. This is really important. We're so isolated and alienated. We need to break through that and talk to each other, really connect with one another about things that are important to us, to our well-being collectively. So I'm going to share a poem today. It's called Never Thought, and it was written in resistance to Bill C-51. So I hope you enjoy it. It's so weird performing poetry through a megaphone. I'll get over it, I promise. On the flip side, never thought I'd have to pay mine. Stress about more colonial mess while struggling to turn the tide. Never thought it'd be a possibility to be infatuated survive. You could go 7 years and have his baby without knowing he put you up on trial for terrorism, for protecting the water. Never thought I'd worry clean air would become obsolete, or my apartment would be raided by CISA's secret police, cornered after a workshop by the RCMP, on the daily, suffocated by white supremacy. What will it take for Indigenous women to feel safe? If you ask me, we don't need no inquiry into the colonial mind that 9 times tried to kill this cat in her sleep, but a true examination of humanity. We know why. Colonial genocide, capitalist structures of power,
That's a mouthpiece.
and racism spread
It's a
wide.
flush trumpet.
Ongoing land theft and open pit
It's an alcohol prep pads to wipe off the mouth.
and greedy hands by which babies were signed. It's time now to look to the families for how we will dismantle this system to the ground. But I think I'm passing it over to Bailey. It's like, all right. So I didn't actually plan on saying anything today. I just kind of thought I would say a little bit. As far as the increased spying on people living in Canada, quote unquote Canada. One of the spy agencies that we have to be most concerned with is the Canadian Security Establishment of Canada, also known as CSE or CSEC. And this is the agency that deals with online communication, telephone communication, and basically just using technology to spy on people and to censor people and to control how and what we can talk about and what we can advocate for and what we can speak out against. The way that C-51 is structured right now is basically just, expanding the definition of terrorism to include basically anybody who is critical of the Canadian government or anything that the Canadian government does. This is going to criminalize a lot of media who report on things critically. This is going to affect our ability to have access to information. I believe that we live in a time where government transparency is more important than ever, and yet they're restricting it more than ever. And C-51, because C-51 inherently means that there will be less transparency. But I mean, this is why we need people who are willing to fight that. We need to support any whistleblowers who come from these agencies, who reveal information that we need to know as a public. We need to support that fight for free information and against agencies like CSEC and like CSIS who are just, using their increased powers and lack of accountability on their own parts to censor people and to criminalize people for their thoughts. So it's just something to think about. Another thing that I wanted to mention is there are ways that we can fight this. There's what we're doing now, there's speaking out against it, but at the same time there are practical ways that we can protect ourselves from government spying, such as encrypting our communications online. There are ways to do that. There are user-friendly apps and programs that allow us to do it. And I think that one of the biggest problems right now is the criminalization of encryption, basically, because that's another part of this, is the fact that people are trying to educate themselves and people are trying to defend themselves against spying, but that is also being criminalized. So I think that as a community, one of the things that we need to do is come together and we need to talk about what we can do technically and practically to protect ourselves. So, I mean, I don't know. up to us individually and collectively, I think. I think that people, all of us here, should connect with each other. Like Courtney said, we need to start talking more and connecting more, not isolating ourselves. And that's one of the things we can unite around, is learning how do we resist in a way that's not only, you know, overtly defending ourselves against the police state and against unjust. I think all surveillance practices are unjust. I don't think the government should be allowed to spy on us in any situation. But there are people who will argue it's justified. Regardless, I think that these are skills we all need to learn collectively as far as what we do to defend our own communications. And I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. But you get the gist of it. Please do some of this research for yourself. Like I said, there are user-friendly ways to encrypt your communications, to make sure that decrease the chance that you'll be spied on and a good place to start is the Electronic Frontier Foundation's Surveillance Self-Defense. That's a really good place to start. You can learn about texting apps, such as Text Secure, to encrypt your text messages. You can learn about PGP, which is also known as Pretty Good Privacy, which is public key encryption to encrypt your email. There's also ways to encrypt social media sites. There's a lot you can do, and all of that information is available. So please look into it, and please understand that it's crucial, and it's more important than ever that we do everything that we can to not only fight this bill, but fight it after it's in power and not give in the way that our government wants us to give in, and keep fighting harder than ever after the fact.
Group here, so we got to get this going. This battle is not over with yet. C-51 has passed Parliament, but it has not passed the Senate. So if you want to try and stop it still, this is good. But get in touch with the former Liberal senators. They are the ones that might have the best chance of slowing it down. And if we can slow it down before it gets back to Parliament, before an election is called, that means the bill could be dead. So that means we don't have to worry about it. So get in touch with senators. Do what you can to slow it down, and let's hope the election is called soon. Let's see if we can wash away Peter MacKay and his bill C-51 like the rain could be washing away all the dirt out here right now. The man, he's not even going to be there to support his bill. He's leaving Parliament. So after all that, after all the damage he's done, he's going to take off and try and grab a nice board of director seat in a few places and maybe do some lobbying. So let's make his last bill a defeat. Let's push him out in a bad note, and let's see if we can get rid of the Conservatives entirely.
Hi. It's good to see you all. Kind of talking about what Bailey and a lot of others were saying is that we need to move forward and keep, coming out today is really good, but we need to continue to have a strong presence in a lot of other events that are against Bill C-51 and that are critical of government bills and security as we see it currently. So on that note, next Thursday, that's Thursday, June 4th, there will be a teach-in community discussion at the MAC Center, that's 366 Oxford Street. There is a Facebook event about it, so you can look it up. It's called Breaking Bread, Teach-in and Community Discussion Against Bill C-51, or something to that effect. Essentially, for those of you who follow the Homes Not Bombs movement for the past few weeks and coming up in the next few weeks, there have been people across the nation and across the world fasting in solidarity and against Bill C-51, and their names
are all open, are all online, and you can see them from different places in Canada. So for those of you who would like to join that fast, next Thursday is an opportune time for you to try in whatever capacity you can fast. You don't have to. Hey, woohoo! There's someone today. Solidarity. So as you can see, everybody has a bunch of days. You can sign up for more than one. All the information is on the Facebook page. You can check it out. And if you don't want to fast or you can't fast, you don't have to. Just show up anyway for critical discussion. There will be some entertainment. More than that, there will be a lot of critical discussions from faculty and members of our community. So please do make an effort to try to come out at 8 o'clock at the Mac Center on June 4th. And yeah, so that's it. I'm not going to go on into things about the bill because I'm sure we all know why this is such an atrocious bill. Otherwise, we wouldn't be out here today.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you about Ethan. He was born in Canada, 1989, so technically that would make you a Canadian citizen, right? He got into trouble when he was younger, did time, not a lot of 8 months. He's out now, but the Harper government has found or tried to find reasons to deport him to India, where he's never been. His parents immigrated from India in 85. So I'm not going to go into detail about this. I have a bunch of flyers that I'm handing out. Any contribution, any support is going to help immensely. He is in debt. 3 hours in court is $20,000. He doesn't have that money, so whatever we can do to help him would obviously be great. So I'm just going to come around and I'll hand these flyers out. Just spread the word, do whatever you can. This could be any one of us. He's just a 25-year-old guy. I'm 25. I can't imagine being deported to a country I've never been to. So that is it. Thank you.
How many of us here are dual citizens? As dual citizens, we could become second-class citizens. If we do anything that the government says is treasonous or illegal, we can be sent back. Our citizenship can be taken from us. Citizenship should be citizenship for everyone, and not just those who were born here. Those of us who chose to come here should be considered equal, and we're not under this bill. Anybody else have anything to say before we take a walk? So the most important thing for everybody to do when you go home before you forget is sit down at your computer and write your senator, write your MP. It only takes a few minutes, and every email that they get, every phone call, jam their fax machine, whatever we can do. And again, tell your neighbors to do the same thing because we can stop this bill from going through, but we have to do it together. So let's do it. All right?
One of the things that I've been thinking about lately is a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but if you don't do anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. So you have to sort of put things together. So Harper is extremely harmed our environmental policies, partly because he hasn't And the government's response was different to the board, whether they were traitors or they were somehow not engaged. So that means that anybody can find themselves caught up in the net. And I think you need to talk to them. You need to think about how you want to do this issue.
So I think we're going to go for a walk. Is that the plan, guys? Yeah, we're going to go for a little walk. There are some instruments. If you'd like to make some noise, let's make some noise and let people know in the city who are driving by.
Right here.
Noisemakers and pamphlets are available. We have one more person who would like to say something. Hang on a second.
Thanks for coming out. I just wanted to say that I want to make sure that everybody here that really stops this bill, every action that we're doing is being recorded. I have heard from Victoria, from Calgary, from Halifax, I have heard from Toronto, I have heard from Windsor. And everybody that is against this bill, C-51, is with us in solidarity. So I think that we need to acknowledge that. The one thing that is great about Canada is that their ability to exercise and I'm here for this protest too, and I'm also standing up next Friday at this Thank you all for coming.
No problem. You know, lead us off. Here you go.
Oh, man! My name is Bill, and I don't like that bill.
Grab some noisemakers on your way. Grab some noisemakers on your way, guys. They're all over here.
Noise.
Here is this actually this way. We're taking the street. Yeah. But we are heading that way.